Hello, and welcome to the Kosh, the People's Podcast. I'm your host, Timber Smith, and the Kosh is a podcast that spotlights people who've had an association with the Kosh and the surrounding Fox Cities region. Kosh listeners, how are we doing today? Okay, so let me give you my report, the daily report that I like to give you. Of course, it is the weekend when we're recording. It is just a little nipply out there is what I'm going to say, and we have no sun. This is still springtime, though. It's part of spring, and once again, I am never mad at spring or fall because y'all know I love a good flannel, and let's stretch out flannel season as long as we possibly can. It makes me happy. All right, Kosh listeners, also, you already know, let me remind you that this episode of the Kosh is sponsored by Timber Ties. Once again, y'all know y'all have been on this journey with me. Timber started a business, and that is wooden bow ties. Y'all already know that I was a bow tie fanatic. These wooden bow ties are super stylish, and guess what spring means? It's wedding season. So if you're out there, you're listening, and you're trying to figure out, what is that thing that I can give those people in my wedding? You know, this would look really good on some groomsmen or groomspeople. Please feel free to go check out Timber Ties. It is timber-ties.com. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with what we're out here doing. Okay, so now on to real business at hand. We have somebody really cool sitting in the chair today. And I'm excited about this conversation because we are reaching out into the region. And I can tell you this, I haven't had an opportunity. I've had one person that I can remember from Omro. And that was a pretty fantastic episode that we did with them. And apparently Omro's out here and they listen to the Kosh a little bit. So we thank them for that. And more importantly, we are thankful for having an amazing guest. So you already know what's coming. I don't know how we continue to get these amazing, amazing guests. And this week's not going to be any different. So without any further ado, this week's guest is Kaci Chalfant. Hey, Kaci, how are you doing?
Good. Doing great today. We could do without the rain.
Facts. But, you know, we need this little gloomy weather to help us out because garden season.
Absolutely. Say we have about 2 30 by 100 foot beds. We are all about tomatoes and salsa, and the hotter the better. Those ghost peppers.
So y'all get down like that.
We absolutely do.
Oh, do you plant peppers also?
We do. This is the first year that we actually saved our pepper plants from last year.
Okay.
Did not know they were perennials. Somebody told me that. So we actually let them go dormant in our basement. So hopefully they're going to be larger, bigger, and faster producing this year because we saved about 35 hot pepper plants.
I didn't know that was a thing. I just go and buy new plants every year.
Yeah, we didn't either. Found out about it and tested it out in a Rubbermaid tote. So we're going to see how it goes for us. Very excited about it because some of those, like the Carolina Reapers, is one that's a hard one to find.
Oh, yeah.
And we did seeds from that one. So we're going to see how it goes this year.
Okay. Here in Oshkosh, we have the place that's over there down County 8 called Furno's.
Okay.
And Furno's has because it's a farm.
Okay.
And that stuff is legit. And that stuff grows. So I swear by them.
I was trying to think. There's one in Ripon, and I can't think of the name, but they also do hot peppers. And they're one of the few places that you can find all of the varieties of the different hot peppers.
Well, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to bless you with a jar of fiery hot sauce and salsa.
That's awesome.
And it is nice to have friends who also grow hot things because, you know, sometimes one thing produces, the other thing doesn't produce. And then we need to do some trading. Absolutely.
Because the seeds in itself, I mean, that's just having that plant around. If it's an heirloom plant, some of those are going extinct.
Oh, I think you might be next level. I might need to learn from you.
I'm no gardener novice by any means. Normally, since we've had a garden, since we've been back in this area, I've been pregnant or haven't been able to. And when I've been pregnant, I can't go in the garden because tomato plants, just the leaves, make me break out in hives. So we go from having this amazing garden to, holy cow, how did it get so weedy?
Oh, for real?
Yes, and it's miserable.
Yeah, I look, I don't know nothing about that,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, that doesn't sound like a good spot to be in.
Oh, it's, it's wild how your body reacts.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine. Okay. Well, Kaci, can you please tell us a little something about yourself and your relationship with the Fox Cities region?
Absolutely. So I was born and raised in Neenah, went to Neenah High School, and I'm trying to think what year it is. I'm not going to admit the year because I don't want to admit how old I am, but met my husband, moved to Georgia, and then we moved back up here in the past 2 years. We now have 3 kids.
Ooh.
They're the most amazing little people on the face of the planet. And I know you said that your kids have long gone left the nest, but we wanted to be closer to my mom. She's still up in Neenah, and she made the trip once a month to see them. And it was one of those things where this is a no-brainer. We need to move to Wisconsin. So we did, found the house that we fell in love with, fought for that house for 9 months before we actually got it. And it is an 1823 old farmhouse that we're slowly working our way through. And it's just so fun in the process. And now with the kids being involved in everything, it makes everything that much more fun.
Hey, that's pretty awesome. So you're taking on the whole rebuild of this farmhouse? Is this
yes and no. So the people prior to us, I think we're third owners. She was meticulous in this house. So a lot of it was upgraded. We just finished getting the rest of the knob and tube out. We have a panel upgrade happening so that all of our electrical in our house is up to par. And then we'll go from there. And then it's working through plastering and drywall and windows and things like that. But I will say that the previous owners did a fantastic job of upkeeping it. There's very few issues with this house. I mean, we have been there for almost 2 years in August. 2 years, and we haven't even had to paint anything yet. Rip some cabinets out and just slowly working through it. But I mean, everything is. She did a very good job of upkeeping the house, and a house that was built back in that day. I mean, it'll withstand the test of time. We'll say that.
Okay, I want to back up a little bit. Let's talk about these kiddos.
Absolutely.
How old are the kiddos?
So our oldest is 6. He'll be 7 this summer. And then we have our middle, who is 4. And then our most recent addition to the family, a little girl. So we have 2 boys. And then we have our daughter. She will be 2 in August. We're not done yet. I want more. Kids are literally the greatest gift you could possibly get from God, and we just want to embrace that. And they are the coolest little people on the face of the planet. Every experience has been a new wild ride, and the things that they say, the things that they do, the innocence that they have, just the experience of them entering this world has been the most amazing thing. And I don't personally understand people that don't like kids, that don't like children, because they're missing out. And if they only knew, it's one of those scenarios where if you only knew what you were missing out on.
Yeah. I will say this. My thing with people and kids is I think kids show you who you really are.
I would agree.
Like, that's the thing that I think you get out of kids. They show you who you really are. And I'm a firm believer, like, I question how well you can know yourself without having at least a child to show you who you are, because they are you, and they will remind you exactly of who you are at the most basic core of your personality.
They 100% do. I mean, just that raw filter that every person should have of, it's just honest.
Yeah, it most definitely is. But I also understand those who maybe it's not their path.
Right.
And so my thing is this, I want to respect those people, because if you know it's not in your heart, don't bring responsibility.
Don't bring a child into it.
Don't bring responsibilities on your life that maybe you're just, that's not how you feel.
Right.
Yeah. So I respect all sides of it. But 3 kiddos, that type, girl, how do you have a life?
Our life is our family. That was the goal. You know, I will sit here and say that for me, my life focus is my faith and my family. Right there. Outside of those 2 things, nothing else matters in this life for me. We were literally, again, I'm coming from a different perspective of, this is my job. My job is to raise these three amazing human beings and however many more God is going to grace us with to do amazing things, be amazing people, and continue that message. And anything outside of that scope, we built this life to do life with our kids. That is something that we enjoy. We enjoy being around each other. We enjoy being with our kids, whether that's playing baseball in the yard, going to the zoo, watching them do a puzzle, just watching how our oldest interacts with the other two, how he's so helpful with our youngest, does it without asking. I mean, even just yesterday, we were a little busy doing some things, and when we picked him up from a friend's house, yesterday was the first time our kids ever went to a friend's house. We keep our family very close-knit. We like to know the people that our kids are around, so that way we know that our values are being instilled in our children. So that spoke volumes of the people that our kids were with yesterday for a bit. And he came home and he goes, Mom, I cleaned the pantry for you yesterday. He's 6. And obviously our youngest is about to be 2. The gate wasn't in front of the pantry. I mean, she's just, you can imagine, she rips everything off the shelf. Every bag's open, cereal, rice, noodles. You name it. It's on the floor. It's throughout the house. It's crunched everywhere. And he cleaned the entire pantry just to pick it up as a thoughtful thing to do, because he knew it's like, oh my gosh, Mom's going to see this. And she's just, this is a mess. We can't even get in the pantry without it. So we do life with our kids every moment of every day. It's them. We chose to bring them into this world, and we need to grace every moment we can with them.
What's the ideal number?
My 6-year-old will tell you 7, that Mom wants 7. I think I maybe said it one time, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't have a number set in my head, but I can tell you that whatever God is going to grace us with, I will willingly accept. And
you're good with it.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, all right. That's what's up. Okay. So, I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and we were talking about how this region really is the boomerang kingdom. And when we say that, I can't tell you how many people I talk to who go to school or right after high school leave because they need to see things. And I get that particularly. And I know this very well because I'm not originally from the region, but I've been in the region for over 30. And I watch people and they're like, oh man, I need to go. And you do. I think it is excellent. You need to go see some other things. But after seeing some things, I can't tell you how often they boomerang back to the region.
100%. I mean, I'm a product of that for the sole fact of, like I said, born and raised in Neenah, left. We were in Georgia for a while, different facets of Georgia, moved to Indiana and different areas from rural to suburban. And end of the day, it came back down to, man, the valley really wasn't that bad when I was growing up. When you see what the rest of the world was like, it's kind of that bubble, and you don't realize you're in the bubble until you leave. And it was one of those concepts of, I know that, like I said, we wanted more kids and we needed to come back here because my mom wanted to be around them. We wanted our kids around that. And you come back. I mean, I look at the number of people that I grew up with that went to Madison or Milwaukee or Marquette, and they're back in Neenah within, I'd say, a mile or 2 of their parents. That wasn't the case. I'd say when I went to school, a lot of people, it was eclectic across the entire nation. So for me to have ended up back in Wisconsin within 20 minutes of my hometown, if you would have asked me at 15 or 16, and it'd be like, oh my gosh, no, get me the heck out of Wisconsin.
You are exactly the person I'm talking about. 100%. You were that person.
I was that person. I mean, I needed out. I was out sick of the valley. Like, nothing happens in Neenah. Mm-hmm. There's nothing cool here. Mm-hmm. And then you leave and you come back and you're like, oh my gosh, our lakes alone are more amazing than some of these ponds people call that are lakes in other parts of the country. And it floors you. It just floors you, the beauties of the different areas, but what you also take for granted when you come back. I mean, I'm trying to think, Riverside Park in Neenah is one that comes to mind. And same with, I'm trying to think what park in Oshkosh. I can't think of it right now. On the lake.
Menominee.
Thank you. I grew up playing at that park when it was the old wooden structure, and to come back to that now, seeing what it is now. And it's like, if you only knew how, like, the park is cool, it's modern. They did a fantastic job on redoing that area. But that original wood park, I mean, that was just classic.
Yeah. No, Menominee is one of our favorites. You're not that far from there.
No,
This is
not
that
at all.
side of town. That's Bosco, the podcast dog's favorite park.
Okay.
He spends lots of time there.
Does he swim?
You know what? We've never put Bosco in water. I don't know if he's about that life. My boy is kind of spoiled.
Okay.
I don't know if he has that in him. I'm sure he could if he needed to.
Right.
You know.
He might like it. And then you might, those walks might look a little different.
Wait, I'm going to tell you what. He might like it. The wife won't.
I was going to say the lake flies and that smell that comes out of that water every once in a while during spring.
Mm-hmm. We're not going to make mama mad.
Yeah.
That's what we're not going to do.
I don't blame you.
All right. So, Kaci, what else is going on with Kaci? What else are we doing since you've come back?
Right now, say we opened up a chiropractic office in Omro, named Primal Chiropractic Omro, kind of playing with that idea. Love it. My husband is a chiropractor. Everything that we do, again, is family, faith, and health. So we're very big on the health and wellness side. Practice what you preach is another mantra that we live by within our family, where we teach our kids that, food can either fuel your body or poison it. So we're very, very big on that topic. Right now, I also work part-time with Thrivent. I come out of Fond du Lac for a private broker. A great company, Christian values, do some of their social media for them. And then our family, that's what it looks like. So I run the behind the scenes. I do that. We're just ramping up into sports season for our kids. So seeing how this is all going to play out, because now our middle son is at the age where he can finally do sports. So that'll be fun because he's now understanding it better than I would say some of the older kids that we have done sports with, because he's been watching his brother, and it's wild to see the difference from your first kid doing sports where they're the first one, and then you see them in comparison to another little boy that maybe has had 4 older brothers they've been watching for years play sports, and just watching their little wheels click and turn, and how our 4-year-old might understand different concepts of things faster than some of the 10-year-olds because they might be the only child and they've never witnessed that before. So that's 100% our life, and navigating all this dang construction. That's what's up with our lives right now. Because every day I feel like there is another road that's closed. There's another detour sign.
I didn't think that construction season has started yet.
Oh man, it is wild. I mean, just the projects within Oshkosh, the detour signs that are up. I mean, we have 21 being worked on, E being worked on, 9th being worked on. They're going to be closing part of that bridge between Omro and Winneconne at some point.
Yes.
So that's going to, I think, wreak some havoc on some people and change the dynamic of how you get around.
I'm pretty sure we are going to be in a construction phase at least until 2028, I believe.
Don't say that. I hope that's not the case.
I'm sorry, but I just might happen to be associated with local government, and and the DOT, and have seen some things.
Okay,
this is just
insider
the beginning.
Information there.
It's just the beginning. Well, I don't know how insider it is.
It's public. It's all public.
Wait, they have brochures.
Right. It's all public. It is all public.
But there's lots coming. But at the end of the day, God knows, it drives me as crazy as anyone else. But I also know when it's said and done, it's helping
better
with our commerce. It's helping with all the things that we need in our region.
100%.
And also, it's probably a really good sign in a sense of the growth that's happening in our region, because our region really is becoming, or is already, a destination location.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly in Wisconsin. This is one of the fastest growing regions in Wisconsin.
The Valley is, in Oshkosh and whatnot.
The Fox Cities.
Yeah.
Yes. Hands down. If I remember right, if you really take what they refer to as the Fox Cities, the population is about 700,000.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what it was back in the day when I was a kid, but I mean, you're so removed from that as a kid because you just are in your bubble.
Well,
so
your
you
job
have
is
no
to be
idea.
a kid. Yeah,
right.
you ain't supposed to know all
none
that.
Of it.
None of it. None of that is important. What was important to me was BMX bikes and skateboards.
There you go. I get it.
All right. So we're doing a little bit with Thrivent.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm assuming you're assisting with the new chiropractic business with your husband.
I am. Like I said, I do all the behind the scenes, the website, all of the patient facing materials, the booking. I handle all of that. That way my husband has the ability to be the doctor.
All right. And it sounds like maybe your chiropractic business focus it's centered around health and food. Because we've had other chiropractic guests here on the Kaci, and no two are the same. Right. And where
They're
they put their
not.
focus in, like everybody does it a little bit different. So
Correct.
This is actually a new thing. This is different than the others that I've had.
And that in my brain is wild that they can differ so much, because the premise of what they do is very similar, but some of them, like it is very different. I mean, you can have, I think, my goodness, you can go down a street in Oshkosh and you might have 15 that you could throw a rock to. And not one of them is going to talk the same, do the same things. They all have like their different focus as to what they prefer. And they all essentially are coming from those same 33 principles.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't surprise me in a way, because I mean, when you get into the expertise of something, right? I think of it from a higher ed framework, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can be a history professor, but what you decide to get your PhD in, or what your, whatever you're going to specialize in, right?
Right.
Your discipline could be anywhere along that umbrella of history. And there's probably 1,000 things you could put under the umbrella. And I love a good chiropractor. Trust me. I've had the chiropractor I've been going to for, oh my God, I don't even know how long, but it's a very, very long time. But like most of us, I think we're highly ignorant about chiropractic work, because all you're thinking about is usually something to do with your back or your spine.
Correct.
And somebody making loud crackety crack noises with your spine or your back as they make these adjustments. But from having these conversations with other chiropractors, I've just learned like that is not even the primary point of chiropractic.
Not at all. End of the day, chiropractors are central nervous system doctors, and it is in reference to how your brain is connecting to the rest of your body. So we were designed smart. Our creator literally left his thumbprint on you in your DNA. And with that being said, there is so many more facets that your body does very intelligent things. And when you fuel it in the proper way, it has the ability to function at a optimal level. And too many people don't grasp that, like you said, because of back, I would say in the 80s, I know a lot of chiropractors that graduated in that time frame. They used to call it the Mercedes 80s. Mm-hmm. Because of how insurance was and how it all changed, because they could bill out for so many things and be reimbursed 100% for that. So that concept of, okay, you were going to adjust your thumb, this portion of your back, this portion of your knee, everything was billable, and they made money on all of it. Where that concept is very different today. And a lot of people are walking away from, we'll say, insurance for that sole purpose of insurance was not ever designed to keep you healthy. It was there like you have car insurance or life insurance. And now that people can kind of see through, we'll say, some of the advertising end of it, or they're having those aha moments. They're like, man, I hire them. They don't hire me. And so they're kind of being pickier about who they put in their healthcare circle. Mm-hmm. And so people have to have, we'll say, that edge of what makes you different, because there is 60 chiropractors, let's say in Oshkosh, and I'm not quoting a number, I'm just throwing some random number out there. Mm-hmm. And if there's 60 of them, how are you going to pick one? You have to figure out what's important to you and go from there.
Yeah, I'm going to guess most people probably pick from whatever their family has been doing. I just think this is that region where, somebody in your family
Correct.
went to them, aunt, uncle, grandma, whoever it is, and they're going to say, oh, you need to go to Dr. Charles. And you're going to say, okay.
It's from there.
Yeah. And from there, that's just my observations, that's who this region is.
It very much is. It's all who you know, and it goes from there. But then in the same breath, if somebody has one bad experience with said one,
oh yeah,
and it might not even be that. It might be a front desk person or another client physically in the waiting room. Something I know that you've talked about in the past is just the lack of respect people have for time. I cannot stand being late. We do not do that ever. If I don't want to call it anxiety because I'm not anxious about anything, but I get flustered. That's probably a better word, where if we're running late to something, or I don't like the chaos it brings to our family, to the kids, if we're running late. And I don't know how the number of times I've been in a doctor's office for the dentist appointments or whatnot, and you make an appointment for 11 and you're still sitting there at 11:45. And it's like, just one more minute. And it's like, I made my appointment for 11. It's 11:45 now. Who has time to sit in a waiting room for 45 minutes? That's the biggest thing, where a lot of people are switching to a different type of practice instead of having, we'll say, that waiting room full of people. Let's make it more personal.
I appreciate that. If that is the new philosophy, I appreciate that. And yes, apparently you have definitely heard me talk about my sensitivity towards time, because
it's a respect factor.
Well, I look at it as the gift you are given, right? It is the one gift. Once, time is that thing where you don't know how much of it you have.
Right.
You can't make more of it. And once it's gone, it's gone. So I look at it as the most valuable asset I can ever give anyone. When I give you my time, I'm literally giving you the absolute most important thing that 100%. I have to offer. And so I just want people to value my gift, no matter, even if I'm paying for it. Matter of fact, maybe even more importantly, if I'm paying for it.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
Then I just really need, I'm paying you to respect that valuable gift of time.
100%.
So that's just, I just have this thing about time.
And I completely understand. We try to leave early for everything, again, with the construction. I mean, we were here probably 30 minutes early.
Oh, you were here early.
Waiting to make sure that we were catching it in between the rain. And I mean, it was trying to find that right sweet spot of between downpours and sprinkles.
Wait a minute. Bosco was well aware. He was letting everybody know, hey, just so you know, hey, Ma, Pop, there's this car out here. I'm going to keep barking at this until somebody comes up to the door.
Exactly.
Bosco knows podcast day. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay. Well, he's very well behaved. He's just hanging down by your feet.
Oh, that's because you don't have TRATS.
Okay. We have to spell things in our house, too.
Because he knows. Let me ask this. If you weren't doing what you're doing right now, what would you like to be doing?
This is a super easy question for me. After having our first kid, I can sit here and say that I wanted to go into midwifery. We are a home birth family, and we had the most amazing midwife when we were in Indiana. She was a hands-off person. This is what you were biologically designed to do. I'm here in case an emergency happens. Otherwise, my hands are not touching you. We're not doing any of that. And it was eye-opening. I didn't grow up in that world. I can say my mom had both my brother and myself via C-section, and it just opened my eyes perspective-wise. Again, my husband's family, third generation chiropractor. There's lots of them in his family, and all of the kids except one of his siblings were born at home. And this, again, I had no idea, didn't know what I was walking into, but this is what I wanted to do. And it was the most amazing experience, seeing how she handled things and going from there. Or I'd go be a lawyer. One of those two things. Polar opposite ends of the spectrum.
That doesn't even, those don't even hang out in the same room.
And I mean, I will go back to, and I'm trying to think, I think it was maybe Horace Mann Middle School and Nina, Mr. Ponkratz's class. And I can't, maybe 6th grade. And it was debate, right? Loved it. It was amazing. And we took old trials and cases, and then we would redo the actual court case. And it was super fun. And that was just as a kid, I loved it. There are so many people in the world today that will put feelings over facts. And in law, there are no feelings. It is facts. It's all case law. And it would be, I think, such a fun job to do if you were in the right area of law.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think law is fascinating, but the thing that scared me away from law, that's a lot of reading. Oh my God, is that a lot of reading? I don't get down like that. If I could do law through audiobooks,
okay,
then I would be down for it.
Well, this day and age, you never know.
Well, I don't, but you still got to be able to read all the cases and stuff.
It is.
Like, and so, but.
One of those two, hands down.
All right. You know what? Now you brought this up, Kaci. So now we got to talk about it. Midwifery. Let's break that down because I think it's fascinating. I actually think it's something like, I don't think it's talked about much out loud. I've learned some things, I work with people, so I meet all sorts of people all the time. And so like I've learned within the last 2 years about doulas. I didn't know what a doula was, right? And just different kind of people that are involved in the process of birthing children, right? So what would you like to share with the Kaci listeners about natural birth and maybe about midwifery?
Midwifery.
Yeah,
it's a tricky word. Just with that, I've probably pronounced it wrong so many times over the years because like you, it was taboo. I mean, and I think it's less taboo now because so many people are talking about it because even hospitals are now adding midwives to their teams. There's water birth stations within hospitals. I cannot attest to that. I can't speak on behalf of that. I have not walked into one. Oh gosh, I couldn't even tell you when. Just not something that fits my agenda. If there was an emergency, I would. But outside of that, there are so many different levels of midwives. There are midwives that are certified midwives, and I'm sure people are going to correct me on that as well. There are nurse midwives that have the nursing background first, and then they went into midwifery. I'm not sure of Wisconsin statutes on that. I can only speak on behalf of Indiana, where it used to be certified professional midwives, where they did not have to have the full-on nursing degree because the goal was if you're choosing this home birth, it's hands off. But there's a sliding spectrum with that with people. And like you mentioned, doulas, there are so many different types of doulas, birth doulas, after postpartum doulas, if God forbid something happens and there is just all of it. It's such a sliding spectrum on all of it. And there are so many fantastic ones within the area that you can pick from. It's home birth wise.
Is it difficult to find someone in this region?
No, not at all.
Not at all. So if you really want to, it's out there.
It is out there. I mean, there are, I think, I want to say majority of hospitals have birthing suites with midwives on staff. We've met some fantastic people since moving back that truly understand the physiology of birth as how your females' bodies are designed for it. That baby is exiting whether you want it to or not. It is going to come out. And the fact that people try to stop it or speed it up, there was a hilarious video I saw at one point of people talking about like I'm 9 months pregnant and I want this baby out. And a lot of people are giving tricks and tips of how to get the baby to exit faster. Right. And none of those work. They're all myths. Like a baby will exit when a baby is ready to exit. And sometimes it's for emergency reasons that they want to come out maybe early or if they need a little extra time. I can sit here and speak on behalf of our first was 45 weeks, 3 days. Our second was 43 weeks, 5 days. And our last one was right on the money, 39 weeks. And the experience is just the most amazing thing in the world. And first time mom, you have no idea what you're walking into. You can feel that baby moving inside of you. And that in itself is probably one of the coolest things in the world as a woman to experience. But then add in the actual process of you have the unsolicited advice that you get from random people at a grocery store of telling you how to do this. Men, women, it doesn't matter. They all give their 2 cents. And I can say for me, I had lots of people in my life that are said, okay, well, when it's that moment, you need to be loud, like just be loud and it'll make it hurt less. I'm like, okay. So I did that with our first, and that was, in my book, it was an amazing experience. But then once you keep going down the line for our second, did no midwife. So there's another concept within that whole natural birth world of just free birthing, where you have nobody there. It was my husband, myself, and our, at the time, 2-year-old. Had him at home, just us, nobody else. And that experience was the most peaceful, calm experience that I've had in my entire life. And then we had our third, and each one got better with how it went, the calmness of it, the stillness of it. I mean, our kids were sleeping less than 20 feet away when our daughter exited, and I didn't wake them up.
That is a story to tell. I don't even know what to do with that, Kaci. It's a mental game. That is like spectacular. Like I've never heard of anything close to that. That is cool.
It is. It's breathing techniques. And like I said, just from the first to the third, they're like, oh, be loud. I'm like, okay, I got this. So I was loud outside on our deck in a pool with our first kid. And the neighbors were like, oh, Kaci's having her baby today. Because I was loud, and it doesn't change anything, the loudness of it. If anything, I feel like it hindered the process. And then once you realize that just how just breathing in itself can change the speed of everything.
Right.
And your entire body has the ability to relax. And I mean, babies literally eject out of women. When it's a fetal ejection response. It's there. It's, again, designed to happen, and we want to interfere with it. There are so many amazing options, amazing people, resources. I mean, the Valley does a fantastic job of it. I'm thinking of, there was a mom, and I can't think of her name right this second, that her son was in basketball with Quinn, and she is a nurse midwife at Aurora off of, what is that, on Omro Road in Oshkosh.
Mm-hmm.
And all of their kids were born that way too. And it's becoming more common because people are understanding that they have the reins of their healthcare, and nobody gets to tell them what to do with it. And just kind of taking that power back from it. Cause I back in the day, it was, you were wealthy enough to have a child at a hospital. You got that pause after having a baby. You got that meal, and they'd take the baby away to the nursery in the hospital. And people want those moments back because they understand, again, that time concept, that you're not graced with unlimited time. They're only little for a short amount of time, and those moments matter. And more moms are taking that power back.
You have feelings about this.
Very much so. I mean, that's one of those things that just gives me the warm and tinglies of people thinking they need to ask permission to do something when they're the one that's experiencing it. I mean, my biggest, we talked about pet peeves. I can say one of my pet peeves is people that aren't honest and don't.
Don't give these away, because you might need these later on in the episode.
I know. But the other one is when people feel they need to ask permission to do things. I can sit here and tell you, I ate whenever I wanted to when I was having kids. I did whatever I wanted. If I wanted to get up and move, change, but nobody told me that I couldn't. And just that is such a huge thing. And that's where the doulas come into play, because you hear stories about how things go wrong and this and that. And if you are a parent in any situation, whether you're new or you've had 17 kids, whatever that looks like, and there's an emergency with your kid, you hear nothing, you see nothing, you get tunnel vision. And that's where those doulas in these situations come into play, where they kind of are the voice of reason for these families. So I have friends that are doulas, a fantastic one that's out in Omro. And it's just the concept that somebody else is looking out for your benefit, your behalf in those moments, because you're not understanding everything. You're not hearing everything. It's like, no, this was the plan. This is what they want. Back the heck off. And that's a major role in it, is not only assisting you, but acting as that advocate in those moments of you're not yourself. You're in mama bear mode when a child is exiting you, and you don't hear everything that people are saying. You don't want the stupid questions that people are asking. And I use that firsthand. I love my husband with every ounce of my being. And I can sit here and tell you that first one, we had a midwife and a doula. And I will never forget this. I had just bought new towels when we were having our first kid. And I had everything laid out on the kitchen table that I wanted her to go grab and use. And we had some fantastic friends there at the time. And our doula, went and grabbed the brand new towels out of the closet instead of grabbing the dark towels on the table. And I could not fixate on that. And I got stuck for about 40 minutes just because of that one detail, because it was not the right doula in that moment for me. She was not listening. She was not doing anything. Fast forward to our second kid. I was like, I want nobody here. And again, my husband, he was born home birth. His mom did it with all of her kids except one. And I was like, I want nobody there. I want us. I want Quinn. And he's like, are you sure? And I said, yes, I am positive. I need to be in control of this situation. I want to feel what that feels like. We have our fail safes because a midwife can't in that situation. If there's a true emergency, it's going to take the same amount of time for 911 to get there, whether she's here or not. And that calmness that was there. I mean, he was watching, our 2-year-old at the time was watching Clifford. We'll never forget this story. And my husband asked me a question. And mind you, I'm in the bathroom, probably 30 minutes into labor, going through the thick of it. And I'm like, I looked at him, I said, I don't even know what you just said. Get out. Just get out. I needed a minute. And he was asking me a question about something else, about breakfast for our kid at the time. And I couldn't answer since it was just, you don't mean to be snarky in that moment as a wife, but it was just not you're not in the right headspace to answer in a kind, loving manner. And I mean, with this last one, I mean, it was, I think, less than 39 minutes from the moment I felt it to the moment our daughter exited.
Oh, wow.
And it was, I almost kicked him out. I want to stay out of the bathroom. This one too, for this whole fact of a silly question about a camera or whatever it was. But yeah, your headspace isn't there. So the doulas and the midwives, they're a fantastic asset for people that want them, but they still want that home birth, but they want that little extra level of, there's somebody other than myself and my husband, because that's out of their comfort zone. So you get to literally tailor, your birth plan exactly how you want it. And their job is to try to stick to that as close as they possibly can and advocate for you in any situation that you're in.
Okay. Well, Kaci, I hope that I didn't take from your topic of the week.
You're okay.
Because that felt like you or your soapbox, because I felt the passion about that.
There is a lot of passion there, but no, that is, I still have my topics. Don't you worry.
Okay. Well, at this time, we are going to pivot. So... All right, Kosh listeners, you already know when you hear that sounds, that means we are going with the topic of the week. And the topic of the week is chosen by our guests 99.9% of the time. And this week isn't going to be any different. So, Kaci, what is our topic of the week?
Topic of the week is going to be integrity. I'm going to use just one word and make that be the focus in every avenue and conversation that stems from this.
Okay, let's go.
So integrity to me is one of those words that I am the same person sitting here in this chair looking across from you that I am Sunday morning at church, that I am when I'm at home with our kids, when I'm in the library, when I'm at homeschool group, you name it. This is me through and through. I don't put on a facade. And I think that a lot of people in life could benefit from being themselves more often. And that level of just integrity and being honest of who you are and owning it and not catering to what is popular at the time, but being you through and through.
Tell me more. Because there's lots of stuff dancing in my head.
There is.
And in an idealistic society, that would be awesome. But I'm thinking of so many settings.
And there is.
That, let's be honest, you aren't allowed to bring your most authentic self to those spaces without the possibility of repercussions.
Correct. And that kind of stems back to the concept of getting deep on you. We'll say for the free speech concept, right? We have free speech, but free speech comes with a price. And that's where people, I think, fail to understand that you have the right to say what you want, but there might be a consequence with what exits your mouth. More, I guess, maybe authenticity might be a better word or topic of the week than just integrity. Because I mean, they all kind of weave or ebb and flow with each other. Of be the same person you are within the four walls of your home for what people might not see in public. Be your private self in public. Now, I'm not saying that everybody needs to agree with me on every topic. That's not the point that I'm making. It's more of have the conversations, because you can learn a lot from people, as you well know, just by having the conversation.
Oh yeah, I'm a big advocate. Well, where conversation is possible,
right, and respectful conversation. I am a non-swearing person. I don't agree with it. I will instantly shut a conversation down if swear words exit somebody's mouth, even if it's not directed at me. I don't like it. To me, it's just a disrespectful tone. It just sets the mood and it puts the other person, I would say, on the defense. And I don't know when that became so acceptable to the point where we're at the grocery store and people are using that as easily as they say hello to people. And it's wild. I never thought I would have to have the conversations with our 6 and 4-year-old at a grocery store. Well, sorry guys, I know we're in the milk aisle, but we have to have this conversation now. This is why we don't use this word. And they're like, why'd that person say that? And it's how do you frame that in a public space without sounding, and I don't even know what the right word would be in that moment of what you would want to label yourself as, because you're trying to teach your kids a valuable lesson in that moment of why we don't behave that way. But I can't give an actual valid reason on why somebody chooses the actions in which they choose to do. And it's such a hard line of that. And so I think my biggest thing is I try to be me. Again, through and through in any situation I'm put in. It's not always easy. You get some flack for it. I am very much it's just honest. Life is so much easier if you're honest. We talked about, the honesty of kids and the things that exit their mouth. I've had 3 kids. I'm not the same size I was when I was 18. And every once in a while, our 6-year-old will be like, Mom, what's that? And it's like, okay, this is my sign that I need to go work out. I need to do something, because he is honest in the most innocent, loving way that you could possibly tell somebody something. I've had 3 kids. My body doesn't look the same way as it did as when I was 18 or pre-kids or when I got married. And if everybody could just have I made the comment, now I'm going to go play catch and I'm good. And you could just move on as quickly as kids do when those things happen. But people take too much offense to things that are not meant to be offensive, where the second you take offense to something, the communication is done and you can't have that conversation anymore because we're too worried about feelings. But if we stuck more to factual answers, and I can agree to disagree. You're never going to change my mind on it. I'm never going to change your mind on it, but we can have a civil conversation about it. I have friends that I grew up with where we don't see eye to eye on anything, but they have always been that way. And they know I've always been the way that I've been, but we're still friends and we can still have conversations and we can have a valuable relationship, because I can sit here and say that when I have something that I need to put out publicly or talk about with people, they are the first person that I go and talk to about it. Like, how does this sound? Because we do not agree on any of these things. I need your input, because you're going to be my harshest critic because you oppose everything that I believe in. And just the integrity and honesty of conversation. That is my topic, because you stop talking to people and then assumptions get made. And it just doesn't, life is too short. Time. Everything stems back to time.
It does.
100%. And it just floors you, right? You're always learning. You are always learning new things. And yeah, it pauses you for a minute. It truly does.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Okay. What else about integrity? Or actually, I like the term authenticity.
I think that might be a better one.
It might be, it just might, integrity is so structured, right? And I feel like integrity gives a little more flexibility to maybe that verbal space of what some of the things which you're putting into this box.
Right. People think this is integrity when really it's not.
Yeah. Well, integrity, here's the thing. We're at my work right now. We're doing some culture values stuff, right? And when you're trying to figure out the values of an organization and stuff like that, and they talk about integrity, and they're like, integrity should never really be a value that's listed because it's incorporated in all of the other values.
Right.
So like, okay, when you talk about a bridge, right, you say, oh, this bridge has a lot of integrity. Well, what you're really saying is this beam,
right,
this foundational structure, this is what makes the integrity. It takes all these smaller integrities to make bigger integrities, right?
They build on each other.
Right. In the case of in humans, there's a lot of flexibility in this thing we call humanity, right? And so I think what we hope that we get to do, and I'm not trying to change your words.
No, you're okay.
Not trying to change your words, is about seeing if we can just get people to see our human and accept us the way we see human.
Yeah, I would say that. I think for me, it's just, if you're going to say something, own it. I don't put anything out there that I wouldn't back it up with that. And I think that's the biggest key player, where I live my life where I'm not ashamed of the choices that are made, and there is authenticity in that. Whether you like my choice or not, whether I like your choice or not, we can still coexist in this space and have it be amicable.
What I would say, the way I heard what you just said was, I have built the infrastructure around me to allow me to, how do I want to say this? Let others see me as the me that I authentically am.
Correct.
Right. But everybody doesn't have that infrastructure or around or in.
I would agree.
The places of, like, everybody can't show up who they authentically are.
Right.
And trust me in this, because this is where I'm going to frame it from.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm going to frame it from a person of color. We can't, in Northeast Wisconsin,
right,
we can't show up to most spaces professional the way we would like to. We are constantly appeasing the unfamiliar, because if we don't appease the unfamiliar, it costs us professionally. You lose opportunities, you lose income,
right?
You lose access, right? And so it's nice if you are able to build the infrastructure around you.
Right.
So you can do that, but it's not something that I would think many of us are actually positioned to do.
And I agree with you. And I would say that's society's fail.
Yeah, well,
100%.
I wish, you know what? Mm-hmm.
Because it's one of those things where
we don't do a very good job of getting to know each other. Is what I want to say.
We don't, and that all comes back down to, you look at, we'll take it to DNA. We'll take it back to the most scientific of science. There is no difference in God's eyes. We are all mankind. And I'm going to leave it right there, because God created everything. He created you just like he created me. And man is imperfect. We know this. It is written. And if more people would pick up a Bible and understand it and read it more than they look at their phones, we might have a different society today.
My ask to society is to not live siloed, and make sure you surround yourself with individuals who are different than you and have different everythings than you. So then, where I find that integrity of society breaks down is at the point of unfamiliar.
Right.
Because then what you're basing things on is stereotypes, assumptions, and hearsay.
Correct.
And so, we have this conversation a lot in circles, professional circles I run in, because we talk about like neighborhoods and stuff like that, right? There's a lot of situations where people have their NIMBY. You know what NIMBY is? Not in my backyard, right?
Okay.
And
I didn't until you said that. So I'm glad that you clarified.
Oh, no, I wouldn't leave you out there,
Okay.
Casey. I'm not going to leave you out there. But it's the acronym, not in my backyard,
Okay.
right? And so when people want to do things, or their different families are moving into neighborhoods, or when people are, sometimes they're talking about affordable housing getting built in neighborhoods and stuff like that. And the first thing that rises up is not in my backyard kind of vibes,
Right.
or structurally formally, like they go and they fight council and the things of such, right? But what I've always found is that once people actually get to know each other and live next to each other, right? Even though they may look different, they may worship different, but they worship. They
Right.
may eat different, but they eat. They have kids, so they may parent. What parenting looks like may look slightly different, but they love their children and
Right.
they parent. We are all societally usually way more alike than we ever are different.
Right.
But not having those interactions, or having what I would call a siloed, for lack of better terms, a siloed life really breaks down those opportunities to get over the hump
Right.
on some of these things. To get to, as you put in God's words, we're all God's children.
Correct. And end of the day, it's one of those things of God created everything and everyone, good, bad, ugly. We know that we're fallen. It's, not trying to get deep or biblical on you. It's the presence of what I built my life around. And I say that as somebody who wasn't religious, brought up in a certain particular way, brought up Lutheran, went to church my whole life, but it was, this is why you do it. This is how you do it. And there is only one way to do this. And then, you skirt away from it for a while because you were forced to do something.
Mm.
And then when you come back to it, you understand it better. And then you understand the why of why you do it, because you want to, because you understand. And it changes perspective. Just like, right, you can read a book at 12 and you read the same book again at 16, and then you read it at 20,
Right.
and you read it at 36, and you're taking away different lessons based on what you need to see. Those blinders come off in your life the more often you read the same book.
Well, maybe
so you understand
just,
the perspective.
Maybe you just weren't old enough to
Right.
to have the educational infrastructure to accept
Right.
the things yet, right? Because it's a building process.
100%. You're going to see different lessons as you move through it.
Absolutely. Okay. How'd that soapbox feel?
But good. That's hey, I am unapologetically me, my faith, my family. That's how I roll. And I will never in my life apologize for that. And that's the biggest soapbox that I would say is, there's lots of different cultures, religions, things like that. Be respectful.
Facts. Okay, Casey, I like that. You went hard. Okay. You stood 10 toes down. That was fantastic. Next segment is called 21 Questions. This is where we got some questions. There are not 21 questions, but there are enough questions of quality intent that we may get 21 answers. I love this part. We ask good things.
Yes.
All right, you ready?
I am. Let's go.
Okay. What motivates you?
My family, 100%. They're my driving force in everything that I do. There's moments where you mess up as a parent. You do. And you come back and you're like, oh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. You might have been frustrated about something, or somebody spilled something, and you come back and you're like, okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I made a mistake. They are my driving force for everything I do. Of what did I do yesterday that I can do better today? What mistake did I make? Whether, it's with a spouse, with your kids, with family, how can I correct that? What can I do that you have? That's what motivates me is my family, my husband, my kids, my faith. All of it comes for a full circle because they're all intertwined.
What does success look like to you?
For me, it's a happy marriage that I enjoy being around my husband. There's I see a lot of people that don't enjoy time with their spouses. There was actually a ridiculous, and I don't know who put it out, YouTube video, podcaster. I guess it'd be more of a vlogger in that regard, because it was videos, and was going around Costco asking husbands like, man, do you like shopping at Costco with your wife? They're like, God, no, I'd rather be doing anything else. And then they probably 30 of those responses, right? And it's like, yeah, I love shopping with my wife. It's a date for us. This is what we're doing. We're spending time together. How could I not like it? And it's like, man, if I was a young person coming out into, we'll say, the dating market, the marriage market, that would skew so many things for looking for a spouse of like, this is miserable. I hate this. Why are you married then? Success is a happy marriage and family you enjoy being around and you enjoy doing stuff with them. I didn't have kids to escape my kids. I had kids to enjoy life with them.
What irritates you?
People that say one thing and do something completely different. If you're going to say it, own it. That is such an irritant to me. And shoes in the house. We talked about it when we first came here. I had seen that on the bottom that we are a no shoe household. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we were driving and I called my mom who's watching our kids right now. And I said, you need to send me the picture of the sign we have on our door. Because at our old house, we had wooden signs that a friend painted for us that said, kindly remove your shoes now. We have laminated signs for that very reason. And I think even on our door, entering from our service door from the garage into the house at our old house said, if you're dirty, get naked. I don't want this in my house. And obviously it was a joke, but in the same scheme, the number of times that you have to explain to somebody on why they cannot wear shoes in your house, it's wild. That is the biggest pet peeve, or when people want to argue about it, why they have to take their shoes off in your house.
Yeah, I'm feeling you on that. What worries or scares you?
I would say a culture that is pulling families apart and just pushing people away from being truthful. That scares me the most, because everything that you see that's put out there and pushed, whether it's in a kid's show or if people are watching news, regardless of where they're getting news from, I look back on my childhood of the number of people I knew that didn't have two parents. And it was not the normal. But we see that so much more right now because I don't know why. I can't speculate on that. I can just say that I see it and it's different. And that scares me for the future kids of what they think that looks like, the future families. It's changing, and it's changing in a scary way.
What are you grateful for?
I am grateful that I have my 3 kids, my husband, our business, my mom. She does a lot for us. She helps us out in more ways than I can count, whether it's a quick, hey, we need you to come watch the kids. I mean, I'm very particular in how I clean my kitchen and how I clean my house. And I will say that yesterday when she was watching them, she only had our youngest who took a nap. And I come home to a fully cleaned kitchen. I don't like washing dishes. I actually hate washing dishes. When we redo our kitchen, we're going to have 2 dishwashers because I hate washing dishes that much. And she washed all my dishes for me. We cook everything at home. So that's a lot of dishes, lots of plates, lots of pans. I mean, you name it, we make it. And my counter was spotless by the time I got home. So those are the things I'm grateful for.
2 dishwashers?
Yes.
You might be onto something. I've never thought about that.
2
but
dishwashers.
That's not a bad idea.
Same with, if you're from I don't know who does the laundry at your house, but I can sit here and say that with 3 little people that are constantly in mud, sand, dirt, you're doing projects, whatever that looks like laundry wise. It was actually my husband's aunt and uncle that had multiple washers and dryers in their house because washing takes one time, drying takes a whole other amount of time, and your wash is always done in the wash machine before the dryer's done.
Right.
So having multiple dryers and dishwashers. Yeah.
Well, since you made the statement, let me just go ahead and put my statement out there real quickly of I give all blessings and love to my wife for washing my clothes and she has been forever.
I do the same.
So good looking out, and baby, I love you. All right. What do you want to be remembered for?
Oh man, that's a hard one. I would say that in the face of any challenge, that I stood true to my morals and values. And even in the midst of any trial that I went through in my life, that I stayed true to my faith and my family.
How do you define love?
For me, it's that feeling. I knew my husband was the one from the minute we met. Consistency. It's showing up in the hard moments, not when it's just easy, right? Because the amount of input you get when you're young and in love, and people are like, oh, you just wait. And they always frame it as something negative. I would say that love is one of those things where it's the moments of like you just had a kid and your husband who never makes coffee made coffee and brings you a cup. It's the subtleties that people take for granted is what it is. It's the pauses in between the big moments.
What is the most memorable life lesson that you learned from a parent, a guardian, or a mentor?
This one is an easy one. I will sit here and say my grandma Rosemary. I will try not to cry if I talk about her because it's a very big possibility. She was a huge component in my life growing up. And she actually passed. I'm going to forget the year right now. But man, people think I'm fiery. I get it from her. And the lesson, I mean, she was widowed very early in life. I had my mom and my uncle. And any story she would tell about my grandpa, whom I never met, would be, he never said a rude thing in his life. When he got mad at me, he'd chop wood. It was just one of those things. It was go chop wood. And it was the funniest thing, word of advice is read your Bible, Kaci, and you tell Trevor when he's mad at you to go chop some wood. And oh my gosh, that right there. I mean, as simple as it is, it's so wholesome because you never in all of my life heard her say one negative thing about him, that they never argued. Let's be real. You and your wife, I don't know how long you've been married. I've been with my husband for a while.
We're creeping on 30.
Okay, well, that in itself is a milestone. So congratulations to both of you on that. And I hope you 30, 60, 100 more, whatever God graces you with. There are always arguments along the way. And I hope that whoever passes first in that scenario can have that same mentality that my grandma did of she can't say an ill word about him because that's how they lived their life.
I appreciate that. Okay. Kaci, let me set the setting. You have been asked to keynote at a conference, right? And this keynote is amongst your peers, those people who I don't even know what we're going to put it in. We're just going to leave it open to your imagination of who's in the audience. But these are people that you are aligned with, that you celebrate with. Maybe you're professionally aligned. Maybe you're aligned in other pathways, right? What is Kaci's walkout song?
Okay, I thought long and hard about this one. I will sit here and say there's a couple that I couldn't narrow it down to just one in my head. My hands down favorite, where if it comes on, we do a lot of Pandora at our house, and if this song comes on, my kids know that this is Mom's song right now, and it gets turned up full blast. I mean, you want to talk the neighbors across the street, down the cul-de-sac, they hear it because we are that loud. It would be "Can't Stop This" by Alex Warren. It is a fantastic song. The words are amazing. The beat is amazing. But I would say that I think it's 808 Breezy makes a fantastic running with God. And I never knew there was such thing as Christian rap in my life.
It's huge.
I didn't know that until a couple years ago. Did not know that. Again, the whole concept of profanity, I didn't like it. So I didn't care how a song sounded that was popular back in the day. The lyrics were horrible. And I've just recently come to love some of these artists. And man, it is eye-opening and just, it leaves you speechless on how they're a fantastic, amazing ability to do what they do with the words that they do. And it's like, why can't all of it sound like this? But yeah, Can't Stop This by Alex Warren, hands down, would be my walkout sound coming out. You know, if it was like a movie and I can sit here, it would be a punching bag fight with where you have your hands up by your face with the boxing gloves on. And that would be the song that I can hear playing in the background in my head.
Love it. Okay. You have survived 21 questions.
Woohoo.
We are moving to the next segment.
Fantastic.
Next segment is called Word Association. I'm going to say some words. You're going to tell us what comes to your mind.
Okay.
All right. We have a long-standing tradition here on the Kosh, and that is this. We have always started with the same word, I believe almost in every episode, because it is the word of happiness. It is the word of family. It is the word of unity, the word of community. That word is food.
Ooh, instantly, I can sit here and tell you food for me is Chihuahua's tacos. They've been trolling around. There's a little taco truck. It is a family that is actually, I just learned the other day, they also live in Omro, of all places. We have had them multiple times now. They typically are parked outside of Omega Brewing in Omro during summer, so we could walk down from the house. And my God, they are fantastic street tacos. Great family. We just did it again the other night. They were outside of, what is it? I want to say Van Vrides in Oshkosh. And our kids get steak quesadillas. Now, mind you, they won't eat steak quesadillas at home, but they'll eat them from Chihuahua Tacos. And I mean, we started with 6 tacos, and then we walked back up, and he goes, was something wrong? And I'm like, no. We need 6 more tacos. So they are some fantastic little street tacos.
Hey, now you got me, because tacos are my weakness. I am all about that life. Chihuahuas. Now you're gonna have me looking for this taco truck.
They're amazing, and they make their own sauces. I highly suggest. I want to say, I'm trying to remember if it's the red one that's the hotter one or if it's the green one, but they're labeled and they're good. I think it's the orange one that's the hottest, and it's fantastic.
Usually the orange is the one that you got to be wary of.
Oh, it is so good.
So, well, Chihuahuas, if you're listening, can you come to the east side of Oshkosh? That's what I need you to do. Cocktail or beer?
We do not drink. I don't drink. I couldn't tell you that. I can sit here and say if it was a mocktail.
Well, you can throw in a mocktail.
Mojitos. A mocktail mojito is superior to anything else out there. Found out about those. A girlfriend of mine would make them when I was pregnant with Quinn, because she also didn't drink. And oh my gosh, I was like, this is what these can taste like without that in it? Well, heck, sign me up, because they were fantastic.
Okay, that's fantastic. All right. Mojitos it is. Mocktails. Shop local.
Not enough people do it. I would say store-wise, we like thrifting in our family. Our kids understand the concept of that somebody else might have passed on something, but it has so much time left. And Secondhand Rose is a cool store. They have just some unique little finds within them. That would be my shop local for that in terms of items. There's also a furniture store, and I don't know where it is. So maybe you could, I've driven past it before. They redo furniture, and I don't know where I've seen it in Oshkosh, but I've driven past, and it reminded me of a warehouse we had in Indiana, where it was just, you could not have dug enough in that little place. And it was, what is it called?
And it's furniture?
It's furniture. It's antiques. It's a little bit of everything, but it's, oh my gosh. I've driven past and I've seen the sign and I've taken a picture, but I can't think of it right now. Those types of things where there is wood furniture, things like that of the shopping local aspect. Cause you go order something and it's like, what is this, cardboard? And those places, there are so many gems all over the place. But this one is one that I walk to it. That way I can limit what I'm bringing back, because I have to walk back with a stroller. So it really helps out in that regard.
Oh, Kaci, I see you. I love a good thrift. I love rummage sales. Don't even get me started, because rummage sale season is quickly approaching. I noticed yesterday there are signs out there already.
Okay.
And, it just makes me happy when I see rummage sale signs.
You and me both. I can sit here and say, so going back to the rummage sales and kids and all of that, we don't find out gender when we have kids. So when we had our daughter, we obviously have oodles and oodles of boy clothes, but had nothing for a little girl. So there is somebody that had a rummage sale and she's like, yep. So she is my go-to now. Before I go anywhere else, I text her and I'm like, okay, what size are we getting rid of now? And I said,
what do you got?
It's like 50 cents an item and it's barely used. I'm like, love it.
If used.
Right. Oh my gosh. They wear it once, they outgrow it. And
if they even got to wear it because somebody gifted it to them and it got to the bottom of the drawer. And the next thing you know, that little person done not so little.
Exactly. Yeah. It goes too quick. So yeah, good rummage sale. Man, I love the neighborhoods that do the rummage sales where it's like, okay, here's our spec sheet. This house has size clothes. We're heavy on the sporting goods. I love those when they give you that shopping guide so you can map it out and
facts.
You know what house to hit up and what one's like, oh, you haven't had kids for 30 years. Well, we know we might skip you for a little bit.
Oh, I feel you. Music.
Forrest Frank radio on Pandora. That is what's 99% of the time on. Otherwise, I'm trying to think what the CD is that's in the car. Yes, I do have a CD in the car because sometimes the kids do not want to wait if you hit a dead zone with Pandora and it doesn't want to load.
When you say things like CD, that starts to date you.
It truly does. It truly does. And I wish I had the ability to burn, and I don't even know if that's the right word anymore, to burn a disc. That's the right phrase.
You can still burn it. I
have a Mac, so I can't. I don't have the drive, so I would love to be able to burn a disc with my kids' favorite songs on it because there is this one CD and there's songs on it I cannot stand, but they come on all the time. And there's a happy birthday song that our now 4-year-old loved and would just sing, and he'd belt it out at the top of his lungs. And now that our youngest is talking, one of her favorite phrases after having my mom's birthday is happy birthday. And she'll say it all the time. I mean, and it's the funniest thing ever. And she just heard that song in the car. And so she wants to sing it, but it's adorable and hilarious all at the same time.
Okay. Well, somebody out there can help you with some burning. I know that. Even though most systems nowadays, they don't put disk drives on them anymore.
They don't.
But when I buy a system,
you add it in.
No, I buy it. I buy it one
specifically.
With it. Yeah, because I'm old school.
I get it.
I got disc too.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, I'm trying to think. As a kid, we had an 8-track player in the basement.
Ooh.
And I'm not and records, and I know records kind of like, right, they have their phases where they come and go, but that old school version of like scratch CD, right? And you get to that because you threw it in your car when you're 16, whatever, and it's in your visor now, and something stuck to it, and you play it in there, and it's like glitching out. Like they will never understand the struggle.
Oh, that is fantastic. Streaming.
Currently, it is monster trucks or creature cases. Not shows that we personally watch. I have an absolute hatred of TV. If I could break the TV at our house, I probably would. I don't love it. I don't like kids in front of screens. So we limit it to the 10 minutes, and it's every other day our kids get to pick a show based on behavior and how they treat each other. And right now it's Hot Wheels monster trucks. I'm trying to think what it's called. Camp Crush is one of our kids' current favorites that is always on in the background. They picked the same darn episode. So like they know it to a point where they could give you the verbiage of the entire 10 minutes because they've watched that particular 10 minutes that often. Or Creature Cases, which is more of an animal fact show. We'll say it's a twist on the, Krat Brothers of my childhood. It would be a turn on that. So they go on little cases, but not a lot of adult streaming happening.
All right. So you and your husband, no streaming, no shows, no podcasts, none of that.
Right now at this phase that we're in our life, no, because if it is not something that I can do and have in front of the kids at all times, or I'm getting paused. So even if the attempt is there, you get 2 minutes here. I might get back to it next week. And so it's the phase of life that we're in, and I wouldn't change it for a second. So nothing right now,
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're busy.
It's life, and it's the best kind of busy.
That's an understatement.
The best kind.
Community.
Met a lot of fantastic people along the way. As much as I dislike social media, it is an avenue for people to find groups for their kids. We homeschool. That is our community in that regard, and just the connection in that sense of finding a homeschool group where it's not age specific. Winneconne has a fantastic homeschool group that we have been going to, and that I would say where the start of the community for us came from in that, because that more and more people are homeschooling. It looks different to every person as to how they do that. But then, from there, I think there's 90 families in that particular group that might show up here and there, and then the similar interests and, just kind of spaces from there. But we're building it. We're finding those people along the way through church.
I know there's a pretty significant one out of Appleton, and I've ran into them, and they have gatherings at the park, and it's a pretty significant group of individuals. When I say significant, I'm talking about the actual number of people.
Right.
And it's oh, okay, that's a pretty significant group.
Lots of options. Just, it's a tool, social media, all that. It's a tool to get you to a different point. You can use it respectfully and responsibly. And that's that community aspect of it is, we have some fantastic neighbors that we are so incredibly thankful for that have helped us in different ways locally, whether it's helping. Just recently with that snowstorm we had, my goodness.
Snowpocalypse.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was
snowpocalypse was horrible.
And just by the time you'd get out there and you'd have the sidewalk and your driveway shoveled, and then the snowplow went by. And it's okay, it's bigger than I am, and it was wet and heavy, and snow blowers weren't going through it. And I paused again. My husband and I, we take turns shoveling. He was at work, and our neighbor came and finished the apron for me after the snowplow went through. I mean, it was probably 4 feet wide, 5 feet high. And, he didn't have to do that, but he did. Same with just the fact that they just had a baby, and we dropped off a whole bunch of stuff over to him. The kids drew some stuff, and that doesn't exist everywhere anymore. My mom has some of the same neighbors that were there when I was born. So over 30 years. And that concept of community is so foreign. And so we're trying really hard to keep the connections that are valid and true, and build the other ones, because we homeschool, we have to have that sense of community for our kids in those friendships and whatnot moving forward.
And you have completed word association. Okay. Next segment is called the Kosh Hidden Gems. This is our guest opportunity to share a hidden gem with the Kosh listeners. That hidden gem could be something you think everybody knows about, and maybe they don't know some really awesome details about it, or maybe it's something you don't think a lot of people know about and they need to know about. Kaci, what's your hidden gem?
I would say business-wise, hidden gem, my goodness, Oshkosh Food Co-op. 100% Oshkosh Food Co-op or Thunderbird Bakery. I know we weren't here when Thunderbird started, but they got really big, and they do so many things that are fantastic. I don't know if you guys do sourdough at all, if your wife is.
We have an episode with them.
Okay.
Yep, and they're fantastic.
They are amazing people.
They are. They're awesome.
And we did sourdough at our house for a while, making it right, the starters, all of that. But it just came to a point where I had a 2-gallon container where I could not keep up with the amount of baking and doing things that I needed to do with it. And so all sourdough related items are 100% in our household. Thank you, Thunderbird Bakery, for all of it. And I found out since joining and being in the co-op that they carry it. So it eliminates a stop for me when I do all of those things. And Oshkosh Food Co-op is amazing. If people haven't been there, you don't have to be a member. Go shop there. They're awesome. Just all of the products that they carry, the availability of produce. I mean, our kids have fallen in love with the red Bartlett pears, and it's very hard to find those anywhere in grocery stores. I'm trying to actually find a red Bartlett pear tree for our property, and very few places even sell them. They typically, right around May, they'll start getting those in, and we cannot buy enough of them. I'm talking like 15, 20 pounds of pears are gone in a week.
Oh, wow.
And they always oblige, to helping push the cart out. They are an absolute gem in terms of a store, the community aspect of it. They do a great job of everything.
Yes, they really, really do. And for the Kaci listeners, we also have an episode with the store manager of the food co-op. Go check that out. We've had the food co-op when we actually started the podcast was like this mysterious thing that everybody was really wondering about. And so we took the time to get like the people who were on the board getting ready to start the food co-op. And then once it's opened, we had to go back and revisit it because it is a cool hidden gem. All right. Next segment, my favorite segment. And that segment is called Story Time. And this is an opportunity for our guests to share a story with the Kaci listeners. That story can be about absolutely anything. So, Kaci, what's your story?
I will pick. My story will be of our dogs. I will keep it lighthearted, and I will make it be about our dogs. I know you're a dog person. So when Trevor and I met and were dating all the things, I had just gotten a large dog. I wanted a dog of my own, and I wanted a big one. I didn't care what it was. I needed something big. So we started out, new relationship. Who doesn't just go get a dog? I got a Dane, if it puts anything into perspective.
Whoa.
And fast forward, I said, this dog needs a friend. He needs a friend because he needs somebody to play with. So then we got another dog. This is all while he's in chiropractic school. We are in a maybe 800 square foot townhome, and we just kept adding dogs, one after another. So it gets to a point by the time he is done and graduating, we have 5 dogs in 800 square feet. And it was hilarious and fun. And fast forward some more, we get more dogs because who doesn't need that as dog, right? Dogs unfortunately pass on and you get more. But while in Atlanta, they're pit bulls. We love pit bulls. We very much advocate for them. There are some fantastic dogs. They are cool personalities. I love the big old blockhead ones. And we just fell in love with the breed. And so we seek them out whenever we can. Fast forward to now, we have 2 dogs, a white boxer named Pickles. We call her Pickle Pie or Pot Pie, as our 2-year-old calls her. Story-wise, my goodness, I did not understand breeders. They get rid of the white dogs. They sell them on the cheap. Some breeders will tell you, probably won't admit to it, but will kill them under the table for the fact that there is a higher chance that those dogs have the ability to be deaf or blind. So they do not want them associated with their litters. And we wanted another white dog because we had a fantastic dog that we had actually found. We like to rescue, find, whatever that looks like in the scheme of a dog, because I don't love the concept of breeding, but some dogs wouldn't exist without it. I can appreciate that. Some people do it responsibly like anything else, and some ruin it for the many. And oh my gosh, this dog is the opposite of why we got her. We got her for Quinn, our now 6-year-old. And she is the wildest. I mean, imagine a regular boxer on steroids. She's white. She's zoomy. She's just crazy. And then you bring in our latest addition. So our rule of thumb is when our kids turn 2, they get a dog. Every kid deserves to have that concept. We didn't really know what we wanted. I wanted a really big dog. Then I come across this horrific concept of a Facebook group of Ditch Your Dog Wisconsin. I don't think that's exactly what it's called, but that's the concept. It's the people that don't want their dogs anymore and they just want to dump them. And
oh, wow.
Oh,
that's
and
out
it's
there?
horrible. It's literally, there's so many Facebook groups with people rehoming their dogs and, we got it as a present for our kid and now we don't want it, or It's like, oh my goodness, it's a foreign concept to me. But yes, people do that and it's disgusting. But we benefited from it. And so the story is we added I'm told she's English Bulldog to our crew. We named her Noodles. She is the goofiest, sweetest dog on the face of the planet. And watching the way she bulldozes through literally everything, including our kids. I mean, we got it for our now 4-year-old Parker, and my goodness, he is petrified of her for the sole fact that she is a brick house. And when she goes running, I mean, she has taken him out to the point where he will do an absolute 360 flip in the air. So he knows now when she comes running, he hugs a wall, he hugs a cabinet, because she will lick you to death, but she has no brakes. And oh my Lord. It is that's my story. That is, it just, you can't think of her. Like I said, when we're done, I'll show you a picture, but my God, she is the funniest dog. And this kid is just, he's a peanut. And to watch his reaction when this dog goes running is the funniest thing in the world, because she got dumped. She has no reason to love people, no reason to like people. Previous owners bred her way too much and decided they could no longer make money on her and dumped her. And she has no reason to be as sweet as she is. And that's how we got Noodles and Pickles.
Noodles and pickles.
Yes.
That is fantastic. Well, I truly appreciate a good dog story. Well, Bosco, the podcast dog, decided he was going to pop in here, throw a toy down, and then he dipped on out.
He sure did.
You know why? Because Mama's here.
I was going to say, I heard a door. I bet Mom's home.
Yep, that's why. Okay. Well, Kaci, I just want to take a moment. We're not done yet, but this is the time of the show where I get ready to start wrapping up, and I just want to take a moment and say thank you.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure, Timber.
All right. Kosh listeners. All right. You know, when we start that, it means we're going to start wrapping up this episode. So let me just say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for giving us your minds and ears. Thank you for caring about another amazing community member out here making a difference, helping to make our community a better place. I love this conversation. It was fantastic. We know that Kaci stands 10 toes down on the things that Kaci stands 10 toes down on: her faith, her family, her belief systems. And you got to love that. We can appreciate that for what it is. Kosh listeners, you already know I'm going to say to you is we are trying to become the #1 podcast in Northeast Wisconsin, and we can't do that without your help. And so what does that look like? As you listen to these episodes and you're thinking, I need to come and sit in the chair. Or, Timber, we need some new segments. Or, Timber, we need some different questions. These are all things that you can reach out to me at askthekosh@gmail.com and let me know. Also, I am a firm believer that this podcast is pretty special because it is so community-based. The Kosh was built on us ripping down our silos and getting to know people more authentically. We used that word a whole lot during this episode. And when you know your neighbors, it makes for a stronger community. And it helps us respect each other. And just that understanding goes so far. But what I need your help with is to get in front of more people, to get in more eyes and ears. And the way we do that is called analytics. So while you're listening to this episode and you see those 5 stars, press them. You see the opportunity to leave us a review, write it, or you see the opportunity to subscribe, do it. These are all things that increase our analytics. And the better our analytics are, the more people get to learn about this cool community podcast known as The Kosh. Okay. So, Kaci, we got just a little bit more to do, and that is right now. That sound means that it is shout out time. Kaci, who you shouting out?
Oh my goodness. I will personally do a shout out to, first of all, our kids. and my mom, even though I know that they're not listening in reference to all of it, but I would say our favorite pizza place and ice cream place, I will do a large shout out to them at Moore's Den, because they are a family run, amazing family, the Moore family, and their 4 kids work there. They have $2 scoops at their pizza place, and the pizza is phenomenal. We had it last night. Typically it's our Tuesday night thing, and we did it on a Saturday. So if it says anything, we're creatures of habit, to the point where I call and I don't even have to tell her what it is.
They know by voice.
They know by voice what it is. And she always gives me a receipt, and they are fantastic with our kids when we're in there. And I mean, end of the day, as a parent, if you're going to go out and do something fun with your kids, pizza and ice cream, $2 scoops. I mean, you can't beat that.
No, you really can't.
You can't. And they're fantastic. They're very much community based, just solid. And it's always a perk when you have the ability just to walk down there, and then typically walk to the park. But one of our main parks is going to be closing because they're working on the road. But I would say that's right now is my biggest shout out.
Okay. Any other shout outs? You don't have to give one. If you got others, you can go for it.
Oh, man. I'm just thinking, oh, heavens. Like Secondhand Rose again, I would say that one, because we already did once, but I mean they're 2 sisters that run it, and they're great people.
Okay. All right. Love those shout outs. Okay, my shout outs. I want to give a very special shout out to the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh and to Chancellor Manohar Singh. Thank you for giving me a call up. Timber is going to get to be the MC for the Chancellor's inauguration. Y'all already know, if you listen to episodes, I am super tightened down. And so this is super special to me. And I appreciate it that y'all think I am worthy of getting up there. And trust me, I am going to do my best to be on point and not kill anyone's name, because that is my biggest fear about emceeing anything. And that is just how I get down. And I just want to say, I have been having a lot of conversations with community members lately, and I just want to say thank you for everyone who takes time to just walk up to me and tell me what they like about the Kosh. I'm always surprised at who's out there listening. It's more people out there listening than the 3 people I always imagine. And I just appreciate your kindness in sharing what you like about it or what's memorable to you about it. And even for some of you, how you're utilizing the podcast to get to know people before you go have meetings with them, or maybe even contacting them for opportunities for partnership. That is what it is meant for. It is meant to build a stronger community. So I appreciate everything y'all doing out there. And my last, never least, shout out goes to the wife for continuing to let me make this podcast in the house. Baby, I love you. Okay. So, Kaci, we got one last thing to do before we wrap up this episode, and that is this. You got some multiple choice. Option A, share with the Kosh listeners some parting words of wisdom. Option B, tell us, what would Kaci today tell 13-year-old Kaci? Option C, good multiple choice has an all of the above. So you have one too. How we getting down?
Let's do all of them.
Let's do it.
Okay, I would say parting words of wisdom. Oh, heavens. It's don't try to fit in. I mean, it's kind of both, actually. I could sneak them into one. Don't try to fit in. Do things honorably, and the rest will follow. I mean, you can apply that to so many things. I mean, my gosh, as a 13-year-old girl, down to makeup, and I'm to the clothing. Yeah. Don't fit in. Be honest, be true, be authentic. That's been we'll say the subject matter from the beginning, and it holds true right now.
All right, Kaci, what'd you think?
It was fun. I appreciate it. It was great.
Thank you for making time.
I appreciate it.
The Kosh.